What's going on YouTube, Ferocity? I hope you guys are doing well. I was surfing around the Modern Warfare 2 subreddit just to see what was going on within the community, see if there's any major news coming out, and I came across a thread asking the question, if you could change one thing about the game, what would it be? And obviously I wanted to look at the options in the poll and also think about maybe my own changes I'd like to see. So I want to talk about the changes here, and I also want to talk about some of the suggestions that were put down in the comments and just add a little bit more context to them. So first and foremost, right out the gate, the first option for this poll was replace the movement in Modern Warfare 2 with Modern Warfare 2019's movement. Now, for me, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of experience with Modern Warfare 2019's movement, but what I can say is I'm not a fan of the movement here in Modern Warfare 2. At times it feels clunky, at times it feels smooth. I feel there's too much jumping, I feel that there's just something lacking. I just feel that it's a little bit too much. It almost feels like you're on Adderall the whole time when you're, jumping around or snaking or doing whatever. Like, there's just something off about the movement. Whereas I'm okay with like drop shotting, but it'd be nice if the jumping wasn't so prevalent, if snaking wasn't even a thing, or something like that, just to add a little bit of a different element to the gameplay, because I just feel that if you're not jumping, pre-scoping around every corner, you're just at a disadvantage. I feel that if you're not trying to snake, you're going to lose a lot more gunfights. So I would like to see some kind of change with the movement. I just don't know exactly what it would be. The one that led the poll was doubling the amount of 6v6 maps, and while I can agree with that in principle, in concept, I would love to see more maps in this game. But it's only if there's quality maps. If they're just going to add more maps like Tarok or that border crossing map, then no thank you. I don't need 12 more border crossing maps. I don't need more, 6 more Taroks. If you gave me 6 more or 10 more or 5 more even quality maps, I'm there all day. I will be there in your corner every single day because, frankly, I'll enjoy it. Because if the maps are good, it makes the game better. Because honestly, bad maps just amplify the problems, whereas good maps can hide the problems. And that's what I'd like to see moving forward in Modern Warfare 2. So it's not necessarily a quantity thing, it's a quality thing for me. Add a kill counter with their calling card and emblem. I don't mind this idea. Obviously, it was the least ranked one, but for me, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I don't care that much if there's a kill counter. It's something nice. I'm sure there's players that want it. There's 125 players in this poll that say they'd have it, so I'm fine with it. There's nothing crazy, in my opinion, that needs to change when it comes to that. So it's not the biggest thing. Change the UI, which is what I voted for, and we still need the UI to be changed because the UI is garbage. But they haven't done anything to really address it, so why would they? Last one here before we get to some of the comments is increase the time to kill. And I agree with that. I feel that at times the time to kill in this game is extremely quick. And it is extremely unfair, especially if someone gets a headshot on you. And I understand headshots are a little bit more skilled at times, but other times they're just completely random, which makes the gunfights feel more random. It feels like you can be in a really good position. You can set yourself up for as much success as possible. And someone just two-shots you with attack, one of them through the cover you're in and one of them to the head, and then you're gone. And I don't know, it just feels like there's some inconsistencies with the time to kill, and I'd like to see that cleaned up. And maybe that happens by decreasing the time to kill. I'm not sure, but there is something off with gunfights in this game. And that's not to say that every gunfight sucks, but a lot of them do feel a little bit off. And I honestly think part of it has to do with the fact that some people are just going to have a better PC than I have, and I'm going to lose those gunfights and a better internet connection. So now we'll move on to the individual comments that I saw, and the first one here was right at the top of the thread and said, "Granted, I mostly just play ground war, but fix the damn spawn system. Complete garbage and feel like it has only gotten worse as of late." And for me, I agree. I think the spawn system in this game, and I don't play ground war, but even in 6v6, isn't very good. It needs to be fixed, and I'd like to see it get fixed. And please, Infinity Ward, do something to fix the spawns. It's been an issue basically since Infinite Warfare, maybe even COD Ghosts, and I'd like to just see them change their spawn logic a little bit. I really like this next one. It's simple, but it would make a world of a difference in Modern Warfare 2, and it's make it easier to differentiate enemies from allies. I don't know why Modern Warfare 2 decided to overcomplicate the way that we see our enemies and just put this small red diamond above their heads. Like, one of my favorite video games, or one of my favorite Call of Duties for that matter, was Black Ops 3, and it was so easy to differentiate your enemies from your allies. And the crazy thing in that game is your enemies and your allies could look the same because everybody had the same access to all the different specialist characters. But because they beamed up with a red light and they had the red name above their head, all of that made it very easy to see who was on your team and who wasn't on your team. And I just don't know why they can't adapt that into this game. So really good comment, and I 100% agree. And I'll just rapid fire the last couple here. This one says, right now I'd like a better anti-cheat. I do like the game mostly, although the Warzone map is a bit boring. And I do feel that at times there are players that are cheating a lot, and we see it in league play, and I'm sure it's very rampant in pubs as well as Warzone. And I don't know why a company with as much resources as Activision doesn't bear down a little bit more on the cheating that can persist in their games. So that is a little disappointing. The next comment here also is a sentiment that I've echoed multiple times in these videos, which is a dead silence perk. I don't know when they're going to figure it out that it would enhance the games. I don't know when they are going to get tired of watching their league play or their Call of Duty League search and destroy matches and get bored because everyone's waiting for their dead silence perk. So it'd be really nice if they decided to just make it a perk like we've said from day one. And the last two I wanted to touch on are topics that I've talked about before on this channel, but once again, I do want to reiterate them because there are people within this community that feel that this needs to be said and it needs to be changed. So first, of course, is get rid of that perk mechanic where you have to wait X amount of time for it to activate. I don't know what was so difficult about the old perk system, but they have not done anything to address it, and to me, it just feels like a weird mechanic in general, and I don't know who thought of it. I think they thought it was a little bit more smart than it actually is. Like, hey, it's an interesting concept, but when you put it into practice, it doesn't work well. It's just not executing the way I think they wanted it to execute. And lastly, the last point I wanted to bring up today is add back the option at least of resetting each prestige. Without it, my drive to play the game is at an all-time low. I don't care about a camel grind, but I also enjoy leveling up guns. Even if it's multiple times, I challenge myself to specific guns each prestige in the past. I agree with this sentiment 100%. I do not like seasonal prestiges. I've talked about it before. I do not like the idea that it gives you less incentive to play because your level just gets reset. Again, somebody believes this is a mechanic that makes people want to play more, but I feel there's a lot of people out there that actually play less because of this mechanic. And I would like to see them just bring back classic prestige mode. I think everybody would be happier. I think there'd be more people that are cheering for it than renouncing it. So that's the way I feel, and honestly, it was nice to go and dive into some of these comments from the community and to just have a discussion like this. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. If you were to change something about the game, what would it be? Please let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.